You've probably just been hit by an update in Idle Heroes, and for a lot of you, you might not really know what it's about. Basically, DHGamnes have added more levels to heroes, but in their trend of trying not to overpower creep the game, it is hidden behind a lot of in-game walls. Now, today we're going to be talking about this trend that DHGamnes seem to be jumping on, and why they're doing it, and why, as a lower level player, you should not feel alienated by this at all. As well, it's an opportunity to inform you about the new changes that have been added. So if you go and take a look at the Void campaign, you'll see that we always, as normal, get these added things you get by progressing through it, but when you get to a point here, which is the beginning of Chapter 2, you unlock the xupgrade feature. Now, the xupgrade feature can be used to improve heroes like this Fairy Queen Vesa here, who is Tree of Origin 5. As you can see as well with this Jara, because she is Tree of Origin 5, she can be x-upgraded too. For an x-upgrade, you're going to need gold, you're going to need spirit, promotion stones, and most importantly, a brand new currency called Hero XP, which, as you can see with this account right here, you get by just logging into campaign and claiming it as a loot reward. So we have 11 here already, and the Hero Advance XP can be used, of course, to improve your heroes. However, there's a few caveats, and the most important one is your hero has to be Tree of Origin level 5, which requires you to go all the way around the Tree of Origin, so that's going to require Spiritual Essence to go ahead and do, and of course Stellar Shards, not to mention you're going to need Transcendence Heroes in the first place to even get to the point in Void campaign where this is necessary. So as you can see here, this account has gone all the way up to level 3, but if we go back and look at my VIP account, you'll see I haven't even managed to beat Chapter 1 yet, but that's because I'm not pushing it. But the reason I'm not pushing it is because I don't have an aura for my team of Transcendence Heroes. I only have 4 of them. Even if I wanted to throw in a puppet, you can only use 1 of each Transcendence Hero, so I am completely stuck with just a base level team. Now, yes, there are ways I could tune this team up to get a little bit further in Void campaign, but the likelihood of me getting to Chapter 2 comfortably is exceptionally slim without that 5th Transcendence Hero. So here's a little thing a lot of players find very irritating, and it is actually something quite smart by DHGamnes at the same time, but of course, no doubt you'll find it alienating. Basically, the way game developers normally build games is they want to encourage you to play the game in particular ways. Now, people who run idle games, like Idle Heroes, will generally encourage you to go ahead and spend money, because that is the main way the game developers are able to keep their revenue coming, their investors happy, and of course the servers alive, whilst also making hundreds of thousands of dollars for their back pockets as well. Now, whether that's moral or not is entirely up for debate, but the truth is, it is one of the intentions behind DHGamnes when they play and make Idle Heroes. So they want you to feel like spending is of value, is going to improve your progress. So of course they bring out big events like the Viking Saga that make you feel like you need to progress. But on top of that, they want to release things that dangle a carrot in front of you that make you want to engage with the game. The first one you'll ever experience is the Gate of the Void. It is hidden behind getting an E5 hero. The second, of course, being the Cloud Island, which you can only unlock once you have a Void 4 hero. So you get that, it goes E5 to unlock the Void. Then you have to get a Void 4 hero, which you can only get by engaging with the Void and, of course, getting Stellar Shards. And then, of course, when you go ahead and beat campaign up to a point where you can unlock Void campaign, you then need a Transcendence hero who is Void 4 to unlock it. Once it's unlocked, they're dangling even more carrots in the form of these items here, and, of course, this new xupgrade feature, which are all great, but of course to make any progress in campaign, you're going to need a good team of heroes, and you can only use Transcendence Heroes, so typically it is particularly difficult, because the majority of people cannot get Transcendence Heroes because of course you need 5 million Crystals of Transcendence to do so. So I am not surprised when a lot of people get annoyed at the fact that DHGamnes are adding new features hidden behind Void campaign. We've seen it with Soul Stones, we've seen it with these Core of Origin and Sublimation improvements, right? And even the upgrade to armor is hidden behind Void campaign. But all of this is there for a reason. It's to encourage spenders to keep spending. It's to give whales a reason to engage with the game and to make them feel the power creep of making progress. The same way, if you were running a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, you wouldn't give your first level party a legendary sword. DHGamnes does not want to give the typical starting Idle Heroes player access to Soulstone 6s, fancy upgraded armor, and of course X upgrades for heroes. So they drip feed these things which are in line with your campaign progress. This being here at the start of Chapter 2, I actually kind of like, and as well the fact it's hidden behind even having a Tree of Origin 5 hero encourages you to go ahead and focus on Tree of Origin upgrading your heroes. And this is good, encouraging people to do things in the game, to engage with ways of upgrading heroes. It starts with E5, then it gets to Void 4, then it's Transcendence Void 4, and now there is a reason to build a hero to Tree of Origin 5, and it's because of the X upgrade feature. So it's just the developers trying to encourage us to engage with the game in new ways to improve the power level of our heroes. Now, X upgrade, of course, as you hopefully saw with the other account, will improve the max level of heroes, and max level upgrading heroes is very, very, very good. That's why Tree of Origin improvements in and of themselves are fantastic. If you take a look at this Rogan, he's level 350, but if you look at my Tree of Origin 5 Freya, she's level 400, so big difference. Like, that's 50 levels, and X upgrading is going to add 20 levels each time, and it's believed you can go all the way up to level 500, which actually I think is pretty cool. So a level 500 hero sounds great, and I like that as a round number. That for me is very satisfying. If I was a game developer, I would want a number like 100 or 250 or 500 to be the max level for heroes, and that's what I liked about Tree of Origin 5. It gets you to level 400, so hopefully X upgrade stops at 500, but it might keep going. Who knows? The developers might get crazy. But either way, that's just a new thing you need to know about that will improve your heroes. So should you worry about this as a player? Not really. My advice is just to crack on, engage with the game, and enjoy the bits that you can, and not worry what whales are able to do. It's just another incentive to go and keep playing the game, get more Transcendence heroes, and make progress in the Void campaign. And of course, people that don't like the slow, steady grind of Void campaign, of course, building Transcendence heroes takes a long time. You might find this a little annoying, but if you forget it exists, that's fine. The typical free-to-play player will take around maybe a year and a half to 2 years to even get into a good position where you can have a team that can engage well with Void campaign and go deep. So look, there's artifacts you need, there's heroes you need, there's plenty of stuff you need before you worry about this X upgrade feature. And of course, once you then get that campaign stage beaten, you then have to save up that currency to even advance heroes in the first place. As it stands, there's no way to go ahead and buy X upgrade materials. It's likely the developers will probably add a way in future events. Maybe they've even got it planned for Halloween. Who knows? Just know that these things exist, and engaging with them will be helpful later down the line, but for the majority of people, you don't need to worry about it. Don't feel alienated, don't get annoyed, and just be happy that there's something more that you can look forward to as you make progress steadily with the game. Focus on your current targets, whether that's unlocking the Void, getting yourself tenants for the Cloud Island, or just cracking on and getting your first Transcendence hero to a sizable standard to pair with whoever it was you chose to be your main E5, which is typically an LOEs for most players. As you build more Transcendence heroes, you'll get a better team, but of course you've got other things to focus on, like the Void Vortex, and like making progress in the Tower of Dreams, or whatever it is you find fun. It might even be making a super silly Star Expedition team, like I like doing on the VIP series. Don't worry about Void campaign too much, and when it finally comes to your turn to go ahead and push that, once you've got 4 or 5 or 6 Transcendence heroes, then you can start focusing, and hopefully you'll have nice powerful heroes with lots of Tree of Origin upgrades to go ahead and clear through. And don't forget Awakenings add even more power to that, but again, that is a whale's playground, so don't get too excited or don't get too intimidated by such things existing. Either way, folks, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for tuning in, and if you have any thoughts or feelings about this new update, let me know in the comments below. Until next time, happy idling.